I've always been fascinated by people with like large amounts of power. People like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. He's like real people that may just be carried out through history and really make their mark. Like, did they just tap into something deep within themselves that gave them this like extra sort of gear, this extra level? Did they just get really lucky? Were they kind of just born into this? Are they like another species? Or, like there's all these, I remember growing up watching all these YouTube videos where like, no, like there are lizard people living on this planet and like they're the ones controlling things. It's just, I don't know. It's wild to think about that there are people out there that have all that are just, their life is just so much more complex and under pressure than I can even imagine. And I don't know how it is crazy that anyone can get to that position in life where you're just like on top of this massive mountain.
Yeah. I think the thing that you said that resonates with me the most about how they get there is like the other gear. I think that, they're probably not built all that dissimilarly, but then they found a way to tap into something that's like most people aren't able to see or understand how to tap into, but they can if they wanted to. They're just able to push themselves there. I also think there's something to this idea of like when you're younger, if you're younger and your limits are pushed to a certain point, it almost gives you the capacity to continue to push that limit even further as you get older. Like if you're not introduced to a lot of these ideas until later in life around like, just like thinking for yourself, thinking differently, perseverance, like mental fortitude, if you're not really embracing all these things until later in life, it's kind of hard to like develop those skills later in life.
That's true. It is a skill, like playing the piano. If you were, playing the piano from when you were young, you'd be able to just bang out a Bach, where just like be a piano, sit down and just start playing the keys.
I actually had this thought, and I wrote it down last night. I was like kind of like not able to fall asleep, and I wrote this down. I was like, the seeds of doubt, like in your own head, have been planted there by somebody else. And like, I think that you just have more seeds planted of doubt later in life from other people where it's like, oh, I can't do this. Like, I can't do that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you kind of need to be ruthless and like a bull in a china shop with your own internal architecture. Like a lot of things that you think are just other people's thoughts implanted in your head that you've let like bear root. Yank those weeds out, man. Like you can't let those doubts fucking sit there for too long or they will freaking be there forever.
That is an interesting idea. Are you familiar with the concept of resistance? Stephen Pressfield's War of Art.
Bam. One of my favorite books. Dude, probably my favorite book.
It's a great one. Yeah, such a powerful book. That's a really interesting idea, that the seeds of doubt, in this, I guess you'd say in the soil of resistance, and a lot of people let these, I mean, we all let these plants grow to a certain degree. I guess if you really tap into that extra gear, Martin Luther King had this idea called soul force. And it was this kind of deeper energy that he talked about being able to tap into to become the Martin Luther King that we all know. And I think a lot of this extra level that we're sort of speculating on might be linked to that. It's a similar idea, as where you've got this real deep sense of meaning and passion and purpose. And if you're really linked into that, then you can ride that wave.
I think the reason you're speculating on it, and I think I resonate with it, and tell me if I'm wrong, is you felt that level of soulful power before in your life for a certain period of time, and it does exist. And I think that it can be captured in different ways, but it's like the soulful power it takes to go from a standard American diet to a fit dude isn't necessarily the same thing as like Martin Luther King going from like, kind of his innocent mainstream life to a literal activist changing the world. But that relative change does speak to your soul, and it says, man, I can do more. I can do these types of things if I just keep going down this rabbit hole. So I think what you're saying is like the soulful power does exist because you felt it yourself.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. We all go through this experience, and we have these ideas about how we can be more, how we can give more, how we can share more, how we can create more, how we can be a better version, how we can maximize and actualize our highest potential.